Padbury, everyone! Yes! Oh, that's jumping off there on its own. There we go. Welcome, 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 welcome. Look, I even found the original artwork.
Look at the shoes.
Oh, my shoes.
You see, what have you trodden?
They will look amazing on you. Look, I found the original artwork.
What is it?
There we go.
Lord.
How cool is that? Amazing. Has it been a while since you've seen that?
It is.
I know, amazing. Look at that. I'll get you a copy of that. You can have a look at that, the original artwork. So, we're here. Oh, I'm throwing this all over the floor. So we're going to talk about... Oh, you switched on now. Oh, I'm going to come more here. And we're going to do Q&As and everything as well. So think of your questions for these two icons of Doctor Who. Let's go right the way back though. Right the way back to the very, very beginning. Are you ready?
Starting with my mother wouldn't buy me a Red Balloon.
So, for you both, how did it all start? I mean, we just need to mention as well that no one can ever overtake this man as a companion. He is officially the world's longest serving companion for 117 episodes, okay?
Guinness Book of Records.
Guinness Book of Records, amazing. The Doctor, he appeared in 119 episodes, but it is absolutely impossible for anybody to ever overtake what Fraser created as Jamie. So I think that deserves a round of applause, because that is amazing.
They couldn't get rid of me.
And then you went into Emmerdale.
I knew where the body was buried.
And then we loved you in Emmerdale as well, didn't we? Yeah, we need Joe Sugden back on Emmerdale. So, right, let's go right the way back to the very beginning.
Yes.
Let you tell your stories of how it all started for you and how you went into it.
Well, I got a phone call from my agent, said, Innes Lloyd wants to meet you. There's 4 episodes of Doctor Who. I said, oh yeah, I've seen it a few times. I wasn't a great fan of it. I just seen it a few times. So I went to see an Innes Lloyd, a lovely ex-Navy man, said, Fraser, Sean Sutton. Sean Sutton was the head of drama. I'd worked with, as a little boy, in Hunting Tower, The Silver Sword, Run to Earth, 4 or 5 different Sunday serials. And he said, Sean says you can do a Scottish accent. I said, yes, I can. Yes, well, all right, then I'll call your agent and go to the wardrobe next week. And that was it. My agent said, you've got the part. And I went to wardrobe. If I thought, I don't like Doctor Who, I can't be bothered to do it, you know. And then, literally, we'd done 2 episodes, and Innes put his arm around me. He said, Fraser, old boy, how do you fancy joining the old TARDIS crew for a year or so? I said, I can't do it. He went, oh, don't you like it? I went, yes, but I've already filmed at Frensham Ponds, waving goodbye to the TARDIS and staying in Scotland with my lead, Donald Bliss and Hannah Gordon. He went, oh, hell with that, we'll film it again. And the next day we went out to Frensham Ponds and actually got in to the TARDIS and waved goodbye to my lead. And if I hadn't done those 4 episodes, I wouldn't have seen Australia, New Zealand, all parts of America, Manchester, you know.
Love Manchester.
Hey! I've never seen all these countries.
So that was ideal for you, Wendy.
A different story for me, just a young actress, jobbing actress, who was sent for an interview, an audition along with, I think, probably most of the girls in London at the time.
Wow.
And we went for an audition, then there was another one, then there was another one, fewer and fewer girls, until I think they got it down to a short list of 6. One of whom was one of your girlfriends at the time.
Yes, it was George.
Yeah. So I thought, she goes out with Fraser, I'm not going to get this job. Anyway, we ended up at a television centre in a studio with a camera on our eyes, just on our eyes, and we were sent a sheet of about 6 lines, and each line, which we obviously had to memorise, was just a different emotion. So there was a laughy line and a crying line and a something else line. And we just stood on the spot, and the camera just shot our eyes, and that's what we did. It was a good job the camera was on our eyes, because my knees were knocking, because it's quite terrifying when you're young and you don't quite know, it's all a bit strange. Anyway, the rest is history, actually. Then I was offered the job, much to my surprise and delight, of course.
Absolutely.
Do you know how many episodes you did then?
No idea.
Do we know how many? You
I have no
you did
idea.
18 months.
Do you know, we
18 months, I know.
yeah, obviously I went on and we went on through it all. It comes up straight away with yours, but I was trying to count through all of your episodes
Well, yeah,
right the way
it would
down.
with Phrase, because he's done so many. I mean, that's the whole...
Yeah, I mean, I've got it here from the dates, but trying to count through.
No, well.
It literally... But it's the same with Jenna Coleman. I mean, if you try and Google what Jenna Coleman's done, or look at Karen as Amy Pond, it doesn't actually give a number. There's only one person it gives a number for.
That's Phrase.
That's you.
Yeah.
Because a fan said the other day, "Oh no, you're not the longest." Jenna Coleman is. She did over 3 years. I said, "It's not the years, it's the episodes." Because I said, if I was in the first episode of Holby City, 10 years later, I go back same character. I can't be the longest running companion. I've only done 2 episodes.
No, we had this because I hosted the Doctor Who thing on in Blackpool, and Jenna was on, and we did a panel like this, and people were saying, and it was actually her. She said, "No, it's not me. It's Fraser Hines." So that came directly from her. Good for Jenna. So a little bit of history here for those who's not seen War Games. So it's absolutely fine if you're more of a modern since the revival. That's absolutely fine. So War Games is the 7th and final serial of the 6th season of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who, directed by David Maloney. It originally aired in 10 weekly parts from the 19th of April to the 21st of June in 1969. Wow, was that when you did it?
It's a very sad show for us because none of us wanted to leave. No. But my agent kept saying, "Oh, darling, you've done 3 years television, we must go back to film." Now, Patrick's wife was going, "Oh, you should be doing serious TV, you're doing children's television." And
I was just going, well, if you're going, I'm going. I'm not staying on my
We're all
own.
leaving.
But I would say that if we hadn't had those women nag, we'd still be there now. You would never heard of David Tennant. We'd still be in the TARDIS. You'd have to shoot us to get us out of the TARDIS. Even like this, we'd go, "There's a darling, Doctor, there's a darling." Yes.
It does say online that it said War Games was the last regular appearance of Troughton as the Doctor and the last serial to be recorded in black and white. So War Games was the last ever episode. When it relaunched with the next series, it had all moved into colour.
And it's nothing to do with Newcastle. Because people say, "They're War Games." No, it's not. It's nothing to do with Newcastle.
It says it was the last appearance of Padbury and Hines as companions Zoe and Jamie, and it also, this episode sees the first naming and the first appearance ever of the Time Lords. So it was a real big change in. I think this is what David wanted as director. They had decided, wasn't it, that they wanted to take it in a different direction, I think. So it was...
But it was written by Terence Dix, wasn't it?
Yes,
the
that's
late,
right.
We lost the last week.
Yes, I've just heard about that. I'm
Yes,
very
Terence,
sad.
a lovely man. He was really,
So, I mean, it was your last episode. I will let you talk to these amazing people of what War Games was all around, just to give them a view.
Well, it was sad, wasn't it, recording that very last episode. We knew we were going, obviously, and it was just, we'd had such an amazing time. I mean, there's never been, for me anyway, there's never been a job afterwards that compares with the fun, mainly, that we had. I mean, we were good. We were good at going to work and doing our job.
Yeah.
But we also went to work and had an enormous amount of fun.
Oh, we had great fun.
I think maybe that's why they like us as companions, because I think the 3 of us had a lovely chemistry. So
Never a crossword.
Never a crossword.
No, you never went to work thinking, "Oh, I hope Wendy hasn't fallen out with the boy. I hope Fraser hasn't had, the sore." You never thought. You never walked with trepidation thinking,
No.
"Oh, so-and-so's Patrick's in a good mood." Whereas you hear later stories about later doctors that people going, "Oh, I hope he's in a good mood."
There's always little whispers, isn't there? So what was Patrick like?
Well, I mean, what can you say?
Well, that says it all, doesn't
Just
it? That's
amazing.
just a sign.
It was amazing.
But the
wasn't
War
it?
Games we filmed at Brighton Rubbish Dump, and they'd been making "Oh, What a Lovely War."
That's right.
And I think the BBC had asked, "Can you leave any trenches and barbed wire and stuff?" But we saw the really great rat, didn't we?
Oh, I think there was more than one. I've never seen so many. I mean,
Rats.
rats.
Really?
I mean, they were absolutely
It was rubbish dump,
huge. Yeah. because I remember doing a panel with Nicola Bryant once, and somebody was asking about something, and she said, "Oh yes, when we were filming in Spain, did you?" I went, "Whoa, hold it right there. What do you mean, Spain?" And she said, "Oh yes, we went filming in Spain." I said, "Get out of here!" I said, "I've got rubbish dumps. And quarries. We only ever filmed in rubbish dumps and quarries, but." Yeah.
I remember David Maloney, we had two favourite directors, David Maloney and Dougie Camfield. And David Maloney, we had this very sort of camp German who had to sort of arrest us. And he said, right, you say, "Du müssen mit uns kommen. Du müssen mit uns kommen." No, du müssen, and this poor guy with the blonde hair, "Du müssen mit uns kommen." David, forget it. Don't worry, we'll do it.
No, but Patrick was just the most, as for me as a young girl, he was just generous. I was slightly starstruck because I knew him from the classics that he did on TV, the Sunday afternoon classics that he was in, and his other work. So I was a bit of a fan, and so it was a bit daunting. But he was just the most. I don't think you will ever hear anybody say anything untoward about him.
For us as fans, he just came across like a giant of a man.
He could charm the birds out of the trees.
He really could.
He never dressed smartly or raggedy, but the girl would just fall at his feet.
Yeah, he was a sort of scruff, but a gorgeous man. Yeah.
Has anybody got any questions to start with? Does anybody want to know anything about anything to do? Yeah, hello, how are you? How are you doing? You okay? What would you like to ask?
Just we're talking about the war games. I actually found your departure very moving, actually, because you forgot who the Doctor was, and you only remembered that first story with him. I just wondered at the time how you felt about that story, about the fact that you'd leave the Doctor, the character would leave the Doctor and wouldn't remember all that time you spent with him.
I'm glad you said that, because people have said to me, "Oh, you could never go back because your mind was erased." I said, no, in the war games, Patrick says, "Will they forget me?" And the Time Lord says, "They'll remember the first adventure with you." And my first adventure, I got into this blue box spaceship and I flew off, so I remember the TARDIS. I wouldn't know the Brigadier, but and you were the same.
Yeah, I remember the TARDIS and coming out of the box in the TARDIS.
The box, so we would still remember that. They said, remember the first story, and that was it. So we would know about this TARDIS. So we would.
So we can go back. I mean, what's
we can go back. Yes.
Hey.
That'd be great. It'd be great to have you back. Seriously, that
black wig.
Would be great.
It's got to be soon. I could just about fit into a cat suit, but leave it much longer. I think is going to be a bit inappropriate.
So the obviously the first day of joining the show as Jamie, as Zoe, when you're met with the TARDIS, that must be a very surreal moment. In every way, and when they open the door to allow you to go, that must be like, wow.
Well, it was, but don't forget our TARDIS, when it came back with Chris Eccleston, and I thought, oh, I can't wait, I'm going to watch this. And it showed the TARDIS, I was like, you are kidding me. Look at the size, literally, look at the size of that thing. And I had real TARDIS envy.
Really?
Because it was huge, and it got stairs, and it was, there were galleries, and I thought,
and a swimming pool.
Ours was a little room with a console in the middle that you had to edge your way round.
And the wire hidden with camera tape.
Well, always camera tape in the way and camera wires.
To light the lights, to power it. Yeah.
Where was that? Where was the interior filmed? Where were you?
Well, we did Lime Grove,
Riverside and Television Centre.
Television Centre as well.
Wow. Lime Grove was terribly small and hot, and no aircon as well. But Television Centre was wonderful. That was nice.
Yeah.
See, I was lucky with mine. We got Elstree.
Good luck.
Air conditioning in Elstree.
Dominators. We did that at TV Centre.
Yeah.
Because that photograph of you, me and Patrick, and you and your Dominator.
In a little costume.
That costume.
Any question? Anybody else wants to know anything? Right, I'm just gonna come down to you. It's fine. Save me jumping up and down. Hello. How are you? Nice to see you. There we go. Okay.
My name's Michael Herbert. I did a short study of Malcolm Holt's work a few years ago because he co-wrote it with Terence. and a very good friend, which I couldn't resist calling Doctor Who the Communist, because Malcolm was in the Communist Party. And I think some of his work, political leaning, has come out in the war games, because most of his work for Doctor Who is quite sympathetic to the aliens. He gives them character backstory. But in the war games, the war chief, the warlords, they have no names, they're quite anonymous. We never find out what kind of aliens they are, or even what their home planet's called. They just call it the home planet. So I think his distaste for war and the effect on ordinary people of whatever era of war you're in, it's always terrible. I think that really comes across in a very strong story. And Mac and Terence were very good friends. They'd worked together on the Avengers, so I'd like to remember Mac and Terence together. Sadly, Mac died in '79, so he never made it into our era.
Because I think originally it was going to be 6 episodes, and then there's a 6 and a 4. And then they said, well, can you lengthen the War Games to make it 10 episodes? And it did hold up. I think it did hold up.
Yes, I wasn't sure. In my memory, it hadn't held up, and I did used to think maybe 8 episodes would have been sufficient. But actually, re-watching it, I do think because so many different things develop as the story goes along. So I'm wrong. I think 10 episodes is okay.
No, it worked really well, and like you said, it just got stronger and stronger and stronger, leading up to obviously what we all know. Yeah.
And of course we had Peter Diamond, the stuntman, on it, in that sort of black costume, and he did all the punches and the scenes, and he named his son Fraser after me because I killed him so many times in Doctor Who. So Peter Diamond, Fraser Diamond.
Wow!
But I saw an episode of the War Games the other day, and of course we were laughing at Jimmy Bree. We are the War Lord. He talks like that all the time.
Does anybody else want to know anything else? Right down the back, and I can answer you. Think of your questions. We've got plenty of time. No problem at all. Hello.
I just wanted to know when you saw the Omen for the first time, did you have it had to try it got chopped off?
Say again.
Say?
When you first saw the Omen, did you laugh when you saw it get chopped off?
Did they think that his head would get chopped off?
Yeah, no. Did you laugh when you saw it?
Oh, did they laugh when they saw his head get chopped off? Did you laugh when he got his head chopped off? Who? In the opening? Oh, the Omen the film. Oh, the Omen the film. Did you laugh when he got his head chopped off?
Oh, when they're looking for the new heads at the very end.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were very strange because they're also like drawings. They weren't photographs of people. And I thought they could have slipped one in of John Pertwee in there, and he could have said something about Pertwee.
They could have got everybody in, couldn't they, really? Anybody else want to know anything? Hello, how are you? Loving the hearts. That's great.
What do you know about the space pirates, the story just before the War Games, that's mostly missing?
Space Pirates? Oh, I hope they find it, because I can't remember what it was about. I just need to have my memory jogged. There's certain things I remember about it. I remember Gordon Gosterlow doing some rather...
Milo Clancy,
What sort of accent was he doing?
It was
kind of
old kind of American art days, and I'm Uncle Talking. I'm going to get the space pirates. And he was like a piratical cowboy.
I'd love them to find that one. Because I'm very lucky with lost episodes, actually. I've got... Most of mine are okay, but Space Pirates is missing.
It does say that there's a lot missing, does it?
Yeah, a film star, Lisa Gastoni was it?
A lot of episodes vanished.
Lisa Gastoni was the lead of Donna Sealy's daughter.
I can't remember.
I've got a dead memory,
Yeah, well, it's a girl, pretty girl, of course you'll remember.
What's her name again?
Get out of there,
Shoes.
Thanks. No. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, yes.
We digress.
I know you were only briefly in the Five Doctors, but do you remember anything about that?
Yeah, well, the Five Doctors, I was in Emmerdale Farm at the time, and I'd done a signing with John Nathan Turner, and he said, I'd like to get you back, Frank. Would like to come back and do a story? I went, oh, yes, please. And he rang me up and said, right, I've got you and Patrick. It was called The Five Doctors. You're with Patrick all the way. Brigadiers with John Pertwee. And then it was my summer holiday, and I said to Emmerdale, the producers, I just need an extra couple of weeks on my summer holiday. No, we want you back. I said, no, can I just have another? No. So I rang JNT, and they won't let me release me. He said, oh, I want you in it, He said, well, if you get any days off, just tell me. And I got my schedule for Emmerdale. I've got next Wednesday, Thursday. He said, right, Wednesday, Thursday, pencil it in. He sent me a fax. In those days, it was a fax machine, and there was 3 lines. No, the doctor's right, the brigadier. Ah! That was it. I thought, can I be bothered to go to London? I thought, no, I want to see Patrick. I've got to go. I've got to see him.
And Wendy. Yeah.
I want to see, Patrick and Deborah. And
there's gonna be a scrap.
And we went down and we went to this rehearsal room, and all the doctors were there. Pitt Davison and Baker and everything. And Patrick went, and we just went, yeah! We rolled on the floor, laughing and giggling. And John Pertwee said, Sarah Jane, you never do that to me. Tickle me. We were rolling on the floor. They were just, all the doctors were they couldn't believe our companionship. But of course, then you have a lovely little story for your costume, the 5 Doctors.
Oh, yes. Somebody had forgotten to tell because I'd said no, I couldn't do it because I was pregnant, and in the end, when it came down to you only being able to do a day, I thought, well, surely I can do a day. But nobody had told the costume designer, and I went into wardrobe and he held up this lycra all-in-one catsuit, and I went. I opened my coat like that and said, I don't think so. And he went, oh my God, nobody told me. So he had this brilliant idea, which I thought was a stroke of genius, on the spot, to cover me with bubble wrap, which was a really clever idea. And it was really big and puffy. But everybody knows you can't walk past bubble wrap without popping it. You can't, it's impossible. So this big skirt at the start of the day ended up this sort of slightly flat, unbubbly piece of plastic. The cameramen, they'd go, oh, all right, went, and just all the time. But it was a really clever idea, I thought, to overcome a problem.
Well, and then after, when I was getting de-rigged to go back up to Yorkshire, JNT said, Fraser, it was just like you 3 have been in a prop cupboard for 16 years. That's what, between the War Games and the 5 Doctors. He said, do you want to do some more? I've got to get you. I said, yes, please. And that's where he did the 2 Doctors. If I hadn't come down to London to do those 3 lines, I'd never have done the 2 Doctors. So I was so pleased, that I wanted to do that.
And do you ever wear your kilt?
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. I always wear my kilt in America. I don't touch the British, though, but in America.
Especially in Manchester. So, have you got any of the original outfits, or...?
Well, I was just saying to some of the guys at the autograph room, I said, if I'd known 40 years later, I'd have kept the kilt, the boots, the shirts. When I did the 2 Doctors, I kept the shirt and the sword belt. And I said to the wardrobe, can I keep these? She said, yeah, we'd like to let you keep the kilt, but we can say to the hiring company the shirt got destroyed in the washing machine, but it's very difficult to lose a kilt. So I'd love to find out with his Burmans or Nathans, whoever, because I'm sure they'll have that kilt. I'd love to buy it.
Probably will.
Yeah. And I think that they had a copy at the exhibition in Cardiff. There was one of the outfits there. But I don't know. It'll be in storage somewhere. What things.
I went to see the museum in Cardiff, and there was Patrick's, and I went, and the bow tie was too straight, so what were you doing? A crooked.
Yeah.
See, he'd never had a straight bow tie, and one of the organisers said, one of the guys, no, I've got to straighten it, and they said, if Fraser said it's crooked, it's crooked.
It's crooked. So
I had one costume, but I had to. They wouldn't let me have it, so they said the only way you can have it is that if you buy the leather that it was going to be made from. So I went shopping with the costume designer. I bought the leather, and then it was made by the wardrobe department. By the end of filming, it was a Cyberman story. By the end of the film, it got silver paint all down it. However, I did wear it once. We did a personal appearance at Selfridges or somewhere, which were few and far between in those days, and I wore it then, and then it sat at home and sat, and I took it to Oxfam.
What?
I took it to
You did what?
Yes. Well,
You took your Doctor Who costume
Yes.
to Oxfam?
Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, if I'd known then.
If I could do a mic
What
drop
a-
without breaking your microphone, I would right now. See, one of my pride and joy pieces, I was giving it for my birthday, from the Magician's Apprentice, I have got the actual head of Davros in a glass box. Yeah, so that's my little piece de resistance. It was on stage, the BBC had done it and they said you can have that, so I've got that.
Does
I'm not
anybody,
telling you where I live though.
does anybody watch EastEnders?
Yes.
Because Rudy Walker, he was in the War Games.
Oh, really?
Yes, he played a black Confederate soldier in one of the jails. And I think David Trout was he was a Union soldier, and David Trout was a Confederate soldier. In fact, I had a fight with David Trout.
Amazing.
And David had a
got,
son.
Philip Maddock, he played the Lord, didn't he? Yeah, so he was the one who was brainwashing and kidnapping all the soldiers from around all Earth's history of the wars to put it into the war games. So
Because Philip was also in the Crotons. Yeah, which
so what was your favourite episode?
The croutons as
Throughout
well.
the croutons, throughout your run, and what was the episode that stays in your mind as your favourite from the years that you did?
Well, I always say it's the Highlanders, because if I hadn't done the Highlanders, I'd say I wouldn't have seen parts of the world. So it's got to be the Highlanders, my favourite story. I'd love to see it again, because I seem to have it in my memory that we all had this Highland accent. Hannah Gordon, me. And then when it said, do you want to stay on? I thought, the Highland accent is very up and down like that. And if I'm going to carry on, oh doctor, there's a Dalek after chasing us, and that you can't get the emotion into it like that. We'll have to be running, otherwise he'll catch us with his big plunger. It's not dramatic.
Not enough oomph.
So, no, it's no oomph. So I sort of watered it down to what I call the television, sort of Scottish accent. So
Go on then. Let's have Jamie back. Go on then.
You pay me more money? No, well, does anybody listen to the Big Finishes?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my first one was Helicon Prime, and Nigel Frears was directing it, and I read the Doctor as just a Doctor,
Okay.
and Jamie as, oh, Doctor, here you are. And I did the first 3 pages. He said, right, Fraser, I'm just going to sort of hear them over, just make sure it's all right. And while he was doing it, I started to read the first page as Jamie and the Doctor. And he went, Fraser, you sound like Patrick Troughton. I said, yes, I do Patrick's voice when I do look at the size of that thing, Doctor. Because in the Eve of the Daleks, the Emperor Dalek was as tall as this building here. And my line was, look at the balls of that thing, Doctor. couldn't say it. We laughed all the time.
No, it wasn't.
You know, because a Dalek has sphæricals, right?
Yeah, all those
Sphæricals. The Dalek has those big balls. And my line was,
Daleks have got balls, haven't they?
yes, all over the got balls all over. I had to say, look at the balls, and we couldn't say it. And Derek, for 1 year, I said, look at the size of that thing, Doctor. Yeah, yes, it is a big one. And then, and sorry, we kept, so I did the whole Helicon Prime as that Doctor. When we did the 2 Doctors, my first line was, look at that space station. And I said, look at the size of that thing, Doctor. And then John Nathan Turner, producer, went, stop. In the script, it says, look at the size of that space station. And Patrick said, no, I must show us. Jamie always says, look at the size of that thing, Doctor. And I go, yeah, yes, Jamie, it is a big one, isn't it? It's a big one. So we sneaked that in quite a lot in the